Hey, what's up YouTube? My name's Cameron Doherty here with another tech video. Today, we're gonna be talking about the PlayStation 5 and specifically how to get more storage on your device by installing an SSD. So today, the landscape is finally starting to look a little bit better for the PS5. Supply shortages have been the bane of anybody's existence who's looking to buy a PS5, either paying a scalper price or luckily winning a lottery or finding an availability right when it comes out. It's been a challenge, but it's finally starting to alleviate a little bit. And I think this fall into this holiday season, hopefully more people are gonna be getting their hands on them. Now, simultaneously to that, the PlayStation is finally starting to allow the expansion using an SSD hard drive. So we're gonna look at how you can install one of those and a little bit about the details around them. So the first thing you might be wondering is, can I just use what I used to use? And if you're like me and you had a PS4, then you probably, there's a good chance, had one of these. This is just a regular old external hard drive. This particular one is from Seagate. It's 4 terabytes. It had more than enough storage to hold all of my games, and it plugged right in with the standard USB-A port on the PS4. Unfortunately, with the PS5 and with new modern games and also with future games that are going to be even more intense, they have not allowed this for PlayStation 5 games based on the speed of the ability to read and write to it. So now instead what they've allowed you to do is install an M.2 SSD, which looks like this. So obviously incredibly small, basically like a stick of gum is the way that I think of it. And this is the external storage, or the additional storage that you can install into your PS5 in order to expand what comes natively with it. You can still use one of these if you want to play PS4 games, but if you want to play a PS5 game, you cannot use it here. The good thing today is that the only thing we need in order to install this is the drive itself and a screwdriver. So the first thing of note is that this particular drive that we're looking at today is not actually compatible with the PS5. I'm using it as an example, but in order for a drive to be compatible with the PS5, it needs to be both a PCIe Gen 4 and it needs to have a sequential read speed of 5,500 megabytes per second. And so I will link to Sony's requirements with those specific items. And at the moment, those are the only drives that are acceptable. Based on Linus's video from Linus Tech Tips, you can install a slower PCIe 4 drive and it will accept it, and he didn't run into problems, but down the line it may, or they may block that. And if you try to use one like this that is PCIe Gen 3, it will straight up prohibit it. Another note is that at the moment, installing the additional drive is only available on the beta software. So at the time of filming, this is just a beta feature. It will be generally available, I'm sure, within the coming weeks to months. So as that gets out there, I wanted to make sure that there was a video so that you knew physically how to change it and also a little bit about the drive details of what you needed. So without further ado, let's take a look at the system. The one thing, obviously, this goes without saying, anytime you're working with electronics, just make sure that it's unplugged. Don't do this in your cabinet while it's running or anything like that. Always take it out, unplug it, put it on a flat surface, be safe. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you are putting it face down. So the side that has the PlayStation logo up top here, just put that on the ground. And then I've got the bottom of it over here and the top of it over here. So you want to go to the top side and specifically the smaller corner. And so what you're going to do is just put a little bit of pressure to lift that up, and you're going to slide it down towards the bottom. And there we go. Hopefully a little bit more elegant than that when you do yours, but you can see it's got a bunch of little teeth in here, and those kind of slide in, and so basically you're just giving it a little bit of lift and then a pull, and it slides out of there. So it's not the hardest thing. The first time you do it, it's a little scary. You feel like you're gonna break the panel off, but this thing is a pretty durable piece of plastic with a lot of give to it, so that shouldn't be an issue. So now that we have this open, you can see there's not a whole lot here, and this is really not you're not looking at the internal components here. They've specifically designed this to be taken off for this purpose. And so all that you're seeing is the fan here And then right here, you'll see this little silver piece, and this is what we want to deal with for our M.2 drive. So you'll see a single screw here, regular Phillips head screwdriver will do, nice and easy, and so we're just going to take that off. And then this will reveal our M.2 slot. And so if you're unfamiliar with an M.2 drive, this is a newer standard, particularly getting to the consumer space, but it's a very small hard drive. This one is a 1 terabyte drive. I think it runs a little over $100, and it's lightning fast. So if you're used to a physical hard drive, this will be night and day. And then this is even faster than a SATA SSD, which are the 2.5 millimeter drives that you might be familiar with as well. So when you're building a PC, and some videos about building a PC are gonna be coming out soon, so make sure that you get subscribed if you're interested in learning more about that. When I built my PC, this is the drive that I used. It installs right onto the motherboard, so it's nice and easy, and that's basically what we're gonna be doing today. So after we open this up, you can see we have a little slot here with a few different holes. And so these M.2 drives come in various different sizes, and Sony has been gracious enough to allow you to use any of those sizes. So the screw will be pre-installed in the largest slot, and basically all you're gonna do is take that screw out and use it in the applicable hole for the size of your particular drive. And so this one is, we'll use the 80 slot. That is the most standard size for drives that you would get on the consumer end of things. And so that's most likely what you're gonna wind up using. So on the drive itself, you'll notice that we have one side here, which is long and flat with a little kind of input there, a little slot. On the other side here, we have where the screw is gonna go, a rounded area, and that's what we'll screw it in to hold it down. So we're gonna take the side with the little slit. We're gonna do the kind of top with the branding will face up. We're gonna slide that into the bottommost portion. Push it in until it kind of pops up like that, and you can see that there's a little bit of springboard action. And then from there, we're just going to take the little stand here, place that underneath where the 80 hole is, and then we're going to place the drive down, pressing onto that, and then screw it in. So if your drive is not lining up directly with that hole, then just make sure that it is fully set in the slot there. Make sure that you've got that kind of tension, and then it should line up straight with the hole. Once you have it screwed in, you don't need to go crazy tight, but just make sure that it's fully secure. After that's in there, all you need to do is add the small heat sink back on top, screw back in the hole, and then we're just gonna close it up. So very simple, very easy to put these drives in here. Another note about them is that they do not accept PlayStation 5 media, specifically screenshots, video captures, things like that. And so they will be exclusively for storing PS5 games and allowing you to expand your games library. So if you are like me and you have the digital only version, that can come in pretty clutch because obviously there is a limited amount of storage. I've already maxed mine out. Now, I guess as we're putting this back on, you're just gonna put it back exactly as it came and then push it back up towards that top. I have it flipped now. Just clip into place like that. And there you have it. Now we have an expanded storage PlayStation 5. And so this is gonna be something that's really important, I think, as we go with the PlayStation 5. Games have been getting larger and larger. Case in point, just look at Call of Duty Warzone, which takes up seemingly an infinite amount of storage. If you wind up putting that on your PlayStation, it just feels like you can put almost nothing else with it. So with this, you will have the ability to expand up to 4 terabytes. That might increase over time. We don't really know whether they will forever cap it at 4 terabytes. A 4 terabyte SSD today is extremely expensive, but the great thing about this is that These M.2 drives are a standard that pretty much anybody who's building a PC today is using, which means there's going to be a lot of people making them. And then these particular high speed ones are going to have a lot of pressure from people like you that want to expand your PlayStation storage. So there should be a lot of competition in the market. There should be growth. There should be a lot of players trying to push into that space. So over time, hopefully these prices keep coming down and you can get one at a reasonable cost to be able to store your games. Maybe not as cheap as one of these, but in a few years, who knows? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was a good little how-to of how to expand your storage and how to make sure that you do it safely and correctly so that you can use it to store all your games. So if you enjoyed what you see, remember that the likes are free, the subs don't cost anything either. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And there we go.